So all Israel were reckoned by genealogies, and behold, they were written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah, who were carried away to Babylon for their transgression. And my Elohim put into mine heart to gather together the nobles and the rulers and the people, that they might be reckoned by genealogy. And I found a register of the genealogy of them which came up at the first, and found written therein, these are the children of the province that went up out of the captivity of those that had been carried away, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away, and came again to Jerusalem and to Judah, every one unto his city. Salutations to Yasharallah. It's your brother, remain true. Ram Yahava. Greeting you by Sham Yahava Shah, Mashiach. Okay, now this is a very important, critical lesson because there's a great controversy in the Hebrew community concerning genealogy through DNA testing. All right, whether it's white man science or do you supposed to just go on faith? All right, but you see that that was two different passages showing you that Israel has always been reckoned by genealogy before and after captivity. And as you see in verse 6 right here, that record was those that came out of the captivity and re-inherited their own and received, went back to their inheritances. You see what I'm saying? These are the children of the province that went up out of the captivity of those that had been carried away, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away, and came again to Jerusalem and to Judah, every one unto his city. All right. Okay. So let's look at a couple, you know, I guess you could say, you know, Hebrew or Hebrew strangers, because both of these brothers that I'm going to, show some video of and their expertise and their contributions to the so-called African American community as far as genetic research and ancestry research is concerned. Both of these guys are what you would call African American men. Nevertheless, they both admittedly, upon research of their Y chromosomes, go back to ancestors in Europe. Okay, one of the brothers' ancestry go back to Germany. The other brother, his ancestry go back to Ireland. All right, but they're both very, I guess you could say, accredited. Harvard. I know one of the brothers is a Harvard professor, a PhD from Harvard. All right, and the other brother is a geneticist. Okay, so let's take a look at some so-called black men who are scientists and also in the know about DNA research, and see if you can still call it some white man science, because you got a black man, one of the very first to start DNA research companies, man. And that's one of the brothers we're going to be, you know, taking a little look at his work, seeing his contributions, and help you to reconsider if you're still one of that 20% of Hebrews who don't think that you should get DNA testing to determine for sure, for fact, your lineage and your ancestry on your mother and on your father's side, if you can. Because women, you can only clearly get your mother's mitochondrial data analyzed, but men can get the mother's mitochondrial and the father's Y chromosome data analyzed. So here we go.
Give a gift that brings the ones you love even closer.
A pioneering geneticist and the founder of AfricanAncestry.com.
All right. Henry Louis Gates to your left. Dr. Rick Kittles Jr. to your right. Harvard professor, PhD, African American research or ancestry or studies. Okay. And Rick Kittles, a founder of his own DNA company in 2003. He's a geneticist. So that's a black man who is a geneticist dealing with the science of DNA. So it ain't just white man's science. Let's look and see these brothers break down their work and their contribution.
He spent his career trying to bridge the genealogical chasm of slavery. How does the genetic science work?
We look at two genetic systems that are inherited from either the mother or the father. Those genetic systems, which is the Y chromosome and mitochondrial DNA, are passed on unchanged, meaning they're identical every generation. So the ancestor is no longer there, but there are people in the present day population who share that genetic information from the ancestor.
Rick gathered a large database of DNA samples taken from living members of the ethnic groups most highly represented in the transatlantic slave trade. He can search this database to look for genetic matches between an African American and an African. And a match means that these two people are distant cousins.
Let's say that the match came back 100% Mende. That would mean that the sequence that we received from the African American was an identical sequence to a Mende individual in our database. There's a common ancestor there.
That means that if you share similar enough Y or mitochondrial DNA with a member of the Mende people today, then it's quite likely that your ancestor on this particular line had been a Mende.
And when they mean line, it means male line. If you're a male and that information is on your Y chromosome, it means female line if you're a woman and they see that information on your mitochondrial X chromosome.
Before they were sold into slavery. I asked Rick to run DNA samples through his database from some of the other African American guests in the series to see what it would tell us about their origins across the Atlantic.
Mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Cory Booker.
Sinke and the Amistad? Yes. They were the Mende. And so are you. That's amazing to me. Amazing to me.
See all that admixture he got?
Trying.
Mende. Look at this brother.
The Mende people from Sierra Leone.
You see that? So the mayor looked like he could be 50% so-called European. That's admixture. But the information he just received that he was from the Mende people is information on his paternal line, his father's lineage. Okay? That's what that's showing you right there. Mende people. Now here go to, I believe this is a congressman right here. Okay? This is a congressman right here. He's also a Mende, but look how much darker he is. Okay? Less admixture. But guess what? They come from the same paternal line. And the DNA is a seed that shows that. That's all it is. It's just showing you that they come from the same seed.
They were fighters. And lovers. Lovers. Well, I prefer being a lover than a fighter. Can you read what it says? It says Gabon, Shake, and Kota. So I have to go find the Shake people. You got it. I'm going. You share maternal genetic ancestry with the Tikar people in Cameroon.
Very interesting.
Condoleezza Rice.
I thought that it might be to Ghana because the Ghanaians thought that facially I looked like maybe I'd been some mixture of Ashanti and European.
That was about the time Ghana applied for $1 billion loans. George Bush wasn't?
You think it may have been part of the story, right?
They were doing their own genealogy. Look like Ashanti to me.
It makes me want to go to Cameroon, meet my people. Yes.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Ancestry with the Benga people.
Shout out to Samuel. I've been on the movie set, did a movie with Samuel.
That means your Kunta Kinte ancestor came from right there. Wow. Get out of here.
Samuel was so cool. I knew he was a true Hebrew.
Let's see what's that.
All right, Dr. Rick Kittles.
Hi, I'm Rick Kittles, co-founder and scientific director of African Ancestry. You know, in my travels around the country, I meet a lot of people, and many of them have the same questions. And so I thought it would be a good opportunity now to answer questions that you may have. A lot of people ask me, why did I start this company? And the main reason is because I wanted to know more about my Africa.
Why did he start the company? He started his own ancestry company where many Hebrews got their ancestry done. All right? And as he's going on to say, he was curious about his own ancestry. That's right.
As a graduate student learning genetic tools and techniques, I felt that I was able to then answer the question for myself. I started amassing data on different African lineages from Africa and using DNA and genetic techniques to try to understand where I was placed in that context of Africa. And so after I was successful in doing that, a lot more people wanted that information. And so I felt that it was important to provide a service to the African American community. I met my business partner, Gina Page, who had a very similar ideology and sensitivities that I shared. And we decided to launch the company 10 years ago in 2003. And it's been a fantastic ride. We met a lot of different people from all over the country, actually all over the world. And many of them had their own stories, their own knowledge of their family history. And we helped them with the genetic component, tracing that DNA lineage that they inherited. So this is quite an exciting time for us. We have to understand exactly what's going on. And so it's critical that that the folk here understand the science, because the science is sort of driving what's going on now.
Science or white man science? No, science.
Sometimes
Science.
we don't necessarily keep up with it. We get confused sometimes. Even the scientists get confused sometimes because there's so much data. So it's important that we engage each other. It's just sad that so often I'm the only geneticist talking to folk. I don't understand why.
No, he means he's damn near the only black geneticist talking to folk. Why? Because there's not that many of us around. But shout out to you, brother, for your work, indeed.
I'm the only geneticist talking to folk. I don't understand why, but you know. But anyway, today we're going to talk about genetic genealogy and the ancestries of African Americans, because that's what I study. That's why I started doing what I was doing, because as an African American, I wanted to understand how DNA could be useful. A useful tool to understand ancestry, my ancestry. Why is this important for African Americans? I think this is important for a lot of communities, but African Americans in particular, because of the unique experience of Africans in America. And a recent web-based poll revealed that 80% of African Americans think that it's scientifically important to determine
80% of us.
ancestry through DNA testing.
That's right.
Because
80% of us want to know the truth. 20% of y'all scared.
For people of African descent to trace their family history. It's not impossible, but there are some unique barriers that are specific to the African American experience.
Like what, doctor?
That experience that I'm talking
That
about
one.
is called the myopathy.
So is this brother right here dealing with some white man science when he doing DNA? Or is this brother here dealing with trying to find out the truth about his ancestors, in which he did? Okay? He realized that his father is one of them damn German oppressors who raped one of our mothers, who was one of these brothers' wives, who came here enslaved, all right?
The Middle Passage, the transatlantic slave trade, the brutal kidnapping of tens of millions of West and Central Africans that were captured over a period of time early in the history of this country, and whose descendants, who themselves and their descendants helped build the infrastructure of this nation. And during that time, family structures were ripped apart. Communities lost contact with others, people in those communities. Languages were lost, cultures were lost. And so with that, family ties were lost. And so that's why it's of particular interest for African Americans to use this. So let's talk about DNA real quick. What do we know?
Now, when you get your test,
I'm Rick Kittles, co-founder and scientist.
you might have some questions.
You know, in my travels around the country, I meet a lot of people, and many of them have the same questions. And so I thought it would be a good opportunity now to answer questions that you may have. Many people wonder, when their results come back and one of these lineages is European, does it mean that they're 100% European? The answer is no. Remember, African Americans are very mixed in terms of ethnicity and ancestry because of the experience of the transatlantic slave trade. And so, immediately upon arrival here in North America, there was a lot of mixing going on. And so we see remnants of that in the DNA of African Americans. A lot of men, when they test their Y chromosome, get a little nervous because, in fact, 30% of the Y chromosomes that we test of African American men are of European ancestors.
30%.
So many of them get upset or they are concerned when the match comes back European.
Yeah.
You know,
So y'all could be the 1/3 all y'all want.
Well, I'm very dark skinned, or I'm African. You can just look and see. But you told me that I'm European. What we told you was that your Y chromosome goes back to Europe.
What is the damn man? Oh, don't worry about it. We're gonna take your ass, okay, and let you feed our flocks and
it doesn't mean
keep our vineyard up, all right?
That
Son of a stranger.
And if we were to test 12, 15, 16 lineages, they'll go in many different places because we're a very mixed population. When I perform ancestry testing on myself, what I found was 90% West African ancestry
90%.
and 9 to 10% European ancestry.
10%
So that
European.
reflects that 10% of my genome
But his daddy
European ancestry. And in fact,
was a
big chunk
heathen.
of that 10% is the Y chromosome because I have one of those 30% of black men who have a European Y chromosome. So having
You get that? Dr. Rick Kittles himself. Oh man, I mean, shout out to this brother though. Look at him, 90%. You wouldn't think nowhere by the appearance that he had a white man as an ancestor. But that's where his Y chromosome line goes back to. Europe, Germany. And all that admixture from all the other African relatives he got who kept breeding with other Africans, so-called Africans, the Hebrews. That's how he got to be 90-some% so-called African. It's because the admixture is so high between other Africans. But guess what? His paternal lineage goes back to Europe. Yep, him and Dr. Gates as well. Both of them. But guess what? They put their brains to use and they did the research and they did the study. Years and years and years and years. You're talking about good 20, 30 years to, or more between these two brothers, man. Salakia. But they did it. And they did it for themselves and they did it for us, man. So shout out to this brother. But he goes back to Europe.
a match that goes back to Europe doesn't mean that you have no African ancestry.
All right, now let's watch a little bit more of his work before we go. All right, now this is a brother who got one of the autosomal testing done, and he got it through Dr. Rick Kittles' company, African Ancestry. All right, check it out.
Black gold.
God instruments.
Forgotten, left for their commodities. Much like its motherland. Robbed and exploited, left with nothing other than a feeling of the emptiest nothingness. No culture, no religion, no covenants for this brethren. Lost as the road gains and its prominence. From common, yeah, it's the database. That's all I know. But like you, the one question, the database. You know what I'm saying? The database.
All right, I can't hear what's going on. We're gonna skip up though. So you see, this is a big event in this family because now they're gonna finally learn the facts about their ancestry. All right, so everybody's all gathered around the kitchen table because one brother out the family got a ancestry test done, and so look, he talking about charging folks just to get the news, right? That's all right.
By analyzing your mitochondrial DNA sequence, we have determined that you share maternal genetic ancestry with. Damn, no back, man. Let me see. Get out of here. I'm trying to see what it's in for. How much money you got on?
Negro for you, ain't it? Gonna charge his sister to see the maternal lineage.
Booby people in Bioko,
West Africa, Cameroon. All right, so that's the maternal lineage. All right. Yeah, Hebrews. Look at the map of the world and look at Africa. All right, here go his paternal. Here goes paternal. His paternal haplogroup.
Check it out. It was with great pleasure. It was with great pleasure that I report our Patrick clan analysis successfully identified your paternal genetic ancestry by analyzing your Y chromosome DNA.
His father's line.
Paternal genetic ancestry with people in
Damn.
Spain.
That's the seed. The seed don't lie. The seed don't lie. It's not white man science. All right. The seed don't lie.
100% confident or whatever. And then they say, hey, they say we understand that this information may be difficult to.
See, that's why brothers don't get these tests done because they, but shout out to that brother who had the courage to do it because don't nobody want to get that disappointing information that you are the descendant, you are the seed of one of the damn oppressors and ancestors of our ancestors who were taken captive, right? But anyway, so as you see, PhDs, geneticists out of the so-called black community, all right? Yeah, this DNA thing is the knowledge increased, all right? Yeah, that's right. And all you wicked that just refuse to know and don't know is because you're wicked and you won't know, all right? But to the elect, salutation to you. And, for the men especially, man, that's what time it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Know for certain, know for sure, man. All right? But shout out to all you brothers. And it's hope for brothers like this. The son of the stranger gonna stand and feed our flock. So he got a place in the kingdom. Keep the faith.